Malaysia's the country that keeps coming up whenever I search for my dream trip, and I think I've cracked why. Here are 10 things to do in Malaysia that prove you can live your best bucket list life without spending a fortune. So, as you probably know, it's been my dream for a while to take Suin, my youngest, to Malaysia, but like most dreams, it keeps getting shelved in favour of, well, life. You know how it goes, new adventures pop up, work gets in the way, or I find another weekend bargain I just can't say no to, and there's been plenty of them, let's face it. But here's the thing, Suin's now 18 and finishing college next year. And if I'm going to make this one happen, I need to stop browsing and start booking. If you watched last week, you'll know that it's definitely happening at some point. And this needs to be while she's young enough for me to see her looking at the world through eyes of the wonder of someone who's still just about a child, and while I'm still young enough to take care of her while she takes it all in. Our trip will probably be about 2 weeks, but I think most people could squeeze these 10 into a week without feeling like they're trapped on one of those open-top bus rides. So I've done what I always do, I've turned it into a bit of a challenge. What if we could build a trip to Malaysia that ticked every bucket list box? City skylines, elephants, beaches, rainforests, the lot, and still keep it affordable. But that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So these are 10 bucket list things to do in Malaysia that won't break the bank. And I promise by the end, you'll be Googling flights too. And let's start off with the city that does it all, Kuala Lumpur. I don't know about you, but I hate a rigid itinerary. I also hate missing out on things. So I tend to loosely plan one major thing a day and build the rest of the day around it. And if something turns out to be a flop, I just skip ahead to tomorrow's plan early and we'll find things along the way. Job done. But something tells me Kuala Lumpur won't give me that luxury. So here's how I'd start. 3 amazing things that you can fit into 2 full days or stretch to 3 if you fancy taking it slow. Now first up, the Petronas Twin Towers. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know I love a good tower. So where better to start than the Petronas Twin Towers, it's the tallest twin buildings in the world at 451.9 metres high. That's high. Like most big attractions, you don't have to go into it to appreciate it. Let's be honest, the one thing you can't see from inside the towers is the towers themselves. Think about it. So your budget option is just wander around KLCC Park and take in the view, and come back in the evening to watch the Lake Symphony Light and Fountain Show, which is completely free. That's a 10 from me. But if you're like me, there is no way you're missing out on seeing the inside. Tickets start from around £22, which is €26 or $28. And the full see everything experience, Skybridge, observation deck and gallery is about £40. That's €46 or $50. I'll be up there pretending to be James Bond. Next up, the Batu Caves, and this is one of those places that looks like a film set until you realise it's real. It's just a short ride from the city, about 30 minutes by train, and entry is completely free. You'll climb 272 brightly coloured steps guarded by the 42-metre tall golden statue of Lord Murugan before reaching the cave temples inside. Oh, and the monkeys. There's so many monkeys. They're wild, cheeky, and absolutely convinced that your water bottle belongs to them. Most people squeeze this into a half-day bus tour, but honestly it deserves more than a meet you back at the bus in 20 minutes. I'm betting this will be a full-on Suin moment, probably several. Just hope she doesn't try to bring one home with her. And then to complete the trio, yep, another tower. The KL Tower, or Menara Kuala Lumpur, stands at 421 metres, and in my opinion it rivals the Tokyo Skytree for views, but at a fraction of the price. Tickets for the observation deck start from around £20, it's €23 or $25, which gives you access to the Sky Deck and the Sky Box, a glass platform that juts out from the edge. Not one for vertigo sufferers, and unfortunately, since I've got older, I've become a bit of a vertigo sufferer, so you might just, when we finally do this, you might just see pictures of Suin doing it on her own. But here's the real gem, the Atmosphere 360 revolving restaurant, where you can get a buffet dinner with panoramic views for around £40, €46 or $50, which is ridiculous compared to what you pay for similar experiences in Tokyo, Paris or New York. And if Suin doesn't love it, I'll eat my dessert twice, just to be sure. And of course there's some notable mentions. Honestly, these 3 alone could fill 2 or 3 unforgettable days when you explore the areas around them. But Kuala Lumpur doesn't stop there. The shopping malls are like theme parks. Genuinely, there's an indoor roller coaster in one of them, Berjaya Times Square, indoor skydiving and even a rainforest right in the middle of the city near the KL Tower. For me, of course, there's always another tower to find, like Negara 118, the latest high-rise building to join the skyline. That has the honour of being the second tallest in the world. Yeah, I'll be adding that to my list. And if you're the type that thinks, I've done it all, trust me, Kuala Lumpur will politely disagree with you. I might need to make a follow-up to this called 45 Things to Do Just in KL. Sorry, nature and wildlife that's actually accessible. If there's one thing someone's been set on since we first mentioned Malaysia, it's elephants. Proper, close, oh wow, elephants. The Kuala Gandah Elephant Sanctuary is the place to do it. And no, this isn't some circus-style theme park. It's an ethical conservation centre run by Malaysia's Wildlife Department, where rescued and orphaned elephants are cared for before being released back into the wild. If you're lucky, you might get the chance to feed them or even help bathe the juveniles in the river, but nothing's guaranteed. The elephants' needs come first, which is as it should be. The sanctuary limits access to some activities to about 100 visitors a day, and from what I found, the full experience, registration, guided tour, feeding and bathing comes in under £50 a head. That's €57 or $60. Worth every penny, especially when you know it's funding a good cause. You can book through Viator or a similar site, but I'm wary of that whole see you back at the bus in 2 hours approach. I'm seriously considering an overnight stay nearby so we can take our time and not rush what could be the highlight of the whole trip. Because trust me, if that bus leaves at 4 and the elephants aren't yet in the river for their bath, Suin will not be on that bus. And staying on a nature theme, you've got the koala Selangor fireflies, which everyone says is pure magic. Thousands of glowing insects lighting up the mangroves at night like fairy lights. It's one of those experiences that makes you stop talking and just stare. You can book it as a half day or evening tour, usually around £30, $37, and including a riverboat cruise and if you're lucky, a few mischievous monkeys on the banks. Some combo tours include both the elephants and the fireflies, but I think I'd rather do them separately. One's about adrenaline and laughter, the other's about quiet wonder. I don't mix those well. Finally, for the real jungle lovers out there, there's Taman Negara, one of the oldest rainforests in the world, possibly 130 million years old. It's about 4 hours from KL and you can do it as a long day trip, roughly 15 hours, meals included for under £100, €115 to $120. Expect boat rides, canopy walks and the chance to spot tapirs, gibbons, hornbills, maybe even a wild cat or two, and there's some Malay elephants which are very endangered, so you'd be very lucky to see one of them. For a deeper dive, there are 2 or 3 day tours with overnight jungle lodges, river night safaris and early morning hikes. Proper David Attenborough on a budget stuff, and I'm here for it. So I think for us we'd probably DIY the elephants because that is major for us, and then maybe book organised tours for the fireflies and rainforest, meaning you could spread out the nature over anything from 2 to 4 days. You'd come away muddy, tired and probably bitten. But with the kind of memories money can't buy, well in Malaysia it can, you don't need that much money in Malaysia. And then you've got a couple of culture, food and mini side quests. Now if you're a foodie, or even just like eating a lot for very little, Malaysia is the spiritual home for you. The food is here. The food here is what happens when Malay, Chinese and Indian cultures decide to live together and try and out-flavour each other. Breakfast could be banana leaf curry, lunch a plate of char kway teow noodles, and dinner dumplings for less than the price of a UK sandwich meal deal. It has entire districts built around food. You've got Jalana Law, a neon-lit street food carnival. Every few metres there's smoke, spice and someone waving a menu at you. You've got Brickfields, the city's little India, where the smell of fresh roti and masala drifts through the air. Chow Kit, more local, more chaotic, fewer tourists taking pictures of their dinner, so obviously I'll be taking photos of mine, that's the Chinatown. Prices, they're ridiculous. You can eat like royalty for £2 a meal in some places, that's $2.30 or $2.50. And if you somehow spend £10, people will assume you own the place. Even the shopping mall food courts are elite, not the UK kind full of Pret and McDonald's clones, but real hawker-style halls, cooking everything fresh in front of you. Pavilion Mall even hosts Michelin-listed hawker stands for the price of a London coffee. And speaking of food celebrities, Malaysia has a new one of its own. You know, Uncle Roger, so the orange polo t-shirt comedian, who roasted Gordon Ramsay and Jamie Oliver for butchering fried rice. Well, he's opened his first restaurant in KL, Haya Super Fried Rice, where you can sample his signature wok hei style for about the same price as the takeaway back home. I've got to go purely for the bragging rights and to see if it really does beat Gordon's version. Now, once you've eaten your weight in noodles, you might fancy some mini side quests that will still keep food and culture centre stage. You've got Malacca, a few hours from KL, dripping with colonial history, bright red temples, riverside street art, and the legendary Jonker Street Night Market. With 70% is snacks and the other 30% is people saying just one more thing. Then you've got Penang or Langkawi. Wait, take your pick. Penang is street art and food heaven, while Langkawi is beaches, waterfalls and duty-free everything. Basically paradise with discounts. That's probably the place to go for a bit of a party as well. It's not a massive drinking culture out there, but Langkawi, with the duty-free, the drinking's cheap. Between the flavours, the history and the side quests, you could spend a week here and still not finish the menu, or fit back into your jeans. Number 10 already! Now those of you who've been paying attention will know I'm only up to 9 of the top 10. But 10th one isn't a place, it's something special. It's achieving all this on a budget. Let's break it down. Flights from the UK, you can find direct flights from around £600 or indirect options for £400 if you don't mind a cheeky layover in Turkey or China. Accommodation, mid-range hotels, often with rooftop pools, proper breakfasts, come in at around £40 a night. Or you can drop that to £25 if you're happy with just good apartments. Food, laughably cheap. You'll struggle to spend more than £10 a day, even if you try. Activities, most of what we've covered, elephants, towers, fireflies, even a day in the rainforest, would easily fit into £200 for the lot if you plan smart. Add that up, you're looking at a 2-week adventure packed with bucket list moments for roughly $750 each. And if you go shorter or share, you can get that down to $600. That's not just budget travel, that's bucket list travel done right. And for those still wanting a 10th thing, you would, wouldn't you? Pick your own adventure. You've got Port Dickson, where the hotel rooms literally sit on pontoons in the sea. A day trip to Singapore, yes, it's doable, and the airport alone is a tourist attraction. You can do this by bus, car, taxi even if you're willing to spend, or you can take a flight, it's about £20. Orangutan Island for a close-up with Malaysia's cheekiest locals, or even a day pass island resort where you can go all-inclusive on water sports for under £40. Maybe your 10th thing is just digging deeper into Kuala Lumpur, a city where every street feels like a new discovery. Trust me, I've barely scratched the surface, which is why I'm planning at least 2 weeks. But if you can only do one, you'll still want to come back. And I think, yes, we're actually going to do this, so expect plenty more videos about our planning itinerary and hopefully the trip itself. Next week I'm going to put it all together with a suggested 14-day Malaysia itinerary. How to fit the towers, the elephants, the beaches, the food and maybe even a rooftop cocktail into 2 unforgettable weeks without breaking the bank. Because a bucket list isn't about being rich, it's about making it happen, and Malaysia might just be where ours finally does. Thanks ever so much for watching, it's much appreciated that you've stayed with it. If you really want to help the channel out, please like, comment and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you.